Hey everybody, welcome back to Filmmonger. I'm your guy, Trey Baker, and today we're going to be talking about Mr. Tom Holland, who likes to spoil things, and he has pulled back the curtain a little bit on Spider-Man No Way Home, describing his working with Alfred Molina, the chances that Charlie Cox might be Daredevil, and what he has said is the most incredible, amazing scene ever made in Spider-Man franchise, and we're going to break that down for you in this video. Before we get started, we have some Marvel trivia for you, and our question of the day is, what was the first comic book that Spider-Man appeared in? Let me know if you know that in the comments below, and we'll be sure to give you a like if you get that right. Also, we have a Marvel Monday winner! Congratulations to Kina San Pillay. They got the answer right. That was indeed Vision, saying that amazing quote, my favorite quote from WandaVision: "What is grief if not love? Persevering." She's absolutely right. If you don't know that it's Vision, you probably just don't like Marvel. Now let's get to this video.
Agent Romanoff, you miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain. Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
We all know that Tom Holland is known for one thing. He tends to say too much. He is a little bit of verbal blah, blah, blah out of his mouth, revealing bigger secrets about movies that he's not supposed to reveal. So much so that they actually tend to keep him in the dark how the whole thing connects together, just to keep the proprietariness of the actual movie intact. And you can't blame the guy. He's legitimately a fan of Marvel, and so he just gets excited about the stories that are being told. That's why in Avengers Endgame they're like, tell him nothing. He knows nothing. He shows up for a scene, he shoots scene, he leaves scene. Tell him nothing. But he did a really good job actually in the most recent interviews on Spider-Man No Way Home by giving us some insight and things that we could be really excited about, but not spoiling the sense of we know 100% that we are getting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, which we're hoping for that confirmation. I do believe it's coming, but it's not here yet. In the last week, we had a new round of pictures of Spider-Man No Way Home coming out in Entertainment Magazine and revealing some really interesting sequences between Spider-Man and Doc Ock, Tom Holland with his mask off, and other sequences from the movie. And it's just hard to believe that we're actually getting close to this movie coming out. Like, I'm just getting so excited to think that in December we will get this movie. There's not going to be any more theories or speculation. It will be here. Part of the things that he talked about was actually how much he enjoyed working with Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina has had to make quite a leap from his last reprisal of the role Doc Ock. When he was Doc Ock the first time, something that's blown Alfred Molina's mind is he was using like puppet arms. And so very more practical effects with the way he moved and operated in Spider-Man 2 of the Sam Raimi universe. Now, moving over to Spider-Man No Way Home, his arms are completely CGI, which Tom Holland said has been really fun to work with him, to see him not only reinvigorate this character that was beloved by many fans, but also to establish him in the new technological age, having the ability to move without the demobility of puppets. It was a really fun thing. Tom Holland goes on to say that Alfred Molina is probably one of his favorite people he's ever worked for. He's a top-notch professional, and just seeing him in action as Doc Ock, a character that he enjoyed watching back when he was just a fan of Marvel movies, was something really special. Another thing that's been revealed with recent interviews is that Charlie Cox might indeed be coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home, and if not in this film, in a future film. Charlie Cox is Daredevil, and he was well received by fans. A lot of people like the way he portrays that character, and there's been some rumors that he will actually be helping Tom Holland's Peter Parker in his situation in Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know much about Charlie Cox's Daredevil character, although I know the character Daredevil is prominent in Marvel movies and seems like a good call for the next kind of people to bring in to the Avenger Corps. I'm not convinced that he will show up in Spider-Man No Way Home, but there was apparently a signing between Charlie Cox and what is the rumored Spider-Man 4 movie. Although there's no absolute that we are getting another run of Tom Holland movies, there's been many reports saying that they treated Spider-Man No Way Home as the end of the Homecoming trilogy, the Home Spider-Man movies, and if we were to get more Spider-Man, it would be much more of its own unique flavor. This is to say that if we do see Daredevil in Spider-Man No Way Home, I think it'll be a small role and he will play a more prominent part in Tom Holland or whatever the new Peter Parker's life in the future Spider-Man films. Now, hear what I'm saying. I do think Tom Holland is coming back. It's just not confirmed, and the way they're operating is that this trilogy is complete. Before we continue this video, I just want to let you guys know that we have an awesome Instagram that updates on a regular basis with all things Marvel, DC, and everything that you love about the movies. So if you haven't already, go follow the Instagram right now. You won't regret it. Now let's get back to the video. Now, what we all have been waiting for, and I know you're like, okay, Trevor, that's great, Alfred Lee is great, and Charlie Cox is great. Tell me about this scene, and I'm telling you guys, I think it is going to blow our mind. And what's great about him loving this scene is it's not because there's like boom, 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 explosions and pew, pew, and guns and fire. He says it's actually a conversation. And you're like, what? A conversation? Why would that be the best scene ever made in Spider-Man franchise history? Well, it's because who is sitting around the table? Tom Holland described it as when him and his brother watched the scene, their mouths literally dropped to the floor. I mean, dropped to the floor, just in awe of what was taking place. He describes the scene as at least him and 3 other people around the table talking about a very interesting and specific topic, which is what it means to be a hero. And there's might be some indication, a lot of people hypothesize that it might be Happy, Aunt May, and Doctor Strange around the table. And obviously there's a whole other spectrum, which is what I tend to believe is having Doctor Strange, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland around the table talking about that very topic. Once again, in Spider-Man No Way Home, I think a lot of things are going to be shaken up, right? You're going to have his whole life revealed on the front stage of publicity and wrestling with whether he wants to be a hero because it's ruining his relationships, it's ruining his freedom to be a person. And so when he goes through this multiversal breaking that Doctor Strange brought upon them, he's going to run into other Spider-Men that have to wrestle with the same pressures and situations that he has had to wrestle with. And if I'm going with what I think is going to be the layout of how they do this, we're going to have a veteran in Tobey Maguire, a mid-season of Andrew Garfield, and a relatively fresh Spider-Man, that being Tom Holland. So the vast amount of information and knowledge that could be spread amongst the 3 of them, and Doctor Strange included, would be a really special scene. I think Tobey Maguire will be a wisdom sayer, a sage, a guiding them on the path of hero-dom, right? And then you have Andrew Garfield, who's a little bit more removed from Tom Holland's age, but you know, at the same time has experience in losing people and the difficulty of the mantle of Spider-Man. My other thought here is that we still are assuming that we're getting both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, which I hope for. But we have a confirmation that Tom Hardy's Venom is indeed going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. Who's to say that he's not sitting at the table as well? Maybe Doctor Strange isn't there. Maybe it's Tom Hardy, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland. And literally the internet would break at that point. I mean, Venom, Spider-Man, 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 all sitting around the table from all the universes that we love would just be amazing. All we need to know, though, is that there's a legitimate amassing of excitement around this film. It shattered records with its first trailer. There's rumors that the trailer might come out for Halloween or come out in a couple weeks, and we couldn't be more excited. On top of that, the potential of all of these beloved franchises molding into one conglomeration epic movie will probably be something that goes down in cinematic history. That leaves us as Marvel fans, myself as a Marvel fan, waiting with major anticipation for this film. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this scene that Tom Holland is describing? Are you excited for it? Let me know in the comments below. And to answer our trivia question, if you were wondering what the first comic that Spider-Man showed up in the Marvel comic series, it was Amazing Fantasy number 15, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko in August 1962. And as always, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more, if you want to help our channel, you can subscribe, turn notifications, like this video, leave a comment. It really does help us. And we are trying to give you guys this information and news and all this great stuff on the daily. And until next time, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.